I need to tell you, Europe is much worse. So when one bank fails, look at HSBC or Barclays, for example, they are very predominant in Africa. If Barclays fails in England, the ripple effect is immense throughout the world in economies that you're like, why we're facing this if those guys were the one manipulating LIBOR, rates, for example, right? In emerging markets, often it can have different consequences. I talked about yesterday about the exportation of inflation. So advanced economies, they are debasing the currencies so that they become more attractive to import from, to go to, or to reduce debt. But what it does is it pushes inflation to a country that doesn't matter how well they're doing, they get impacted by it. Imagine if I have a sack of potatoes in Brazil that I can sell to you for $50 and you buy it from me. Nothing changed in my economy, but because the dollar depreciated now, my $50 now is worth 45. It's like your sack of potatoes now is $5 more expensive. I'm not going to buy from you, I'm going to buy from India, for example. And now the Brazilian entrepreneur selling potatoes is in crisis. For them now, the economy is not protecting them. On the other way around, you cause an overheating of the economy. So the country cannot endure or support the flow of money or the velocity of money. So it's intertwined. Good or bad, the fact that the world economy today are so intertwined, it causes, like the proverbial saying, a butterfly to flap its wings in Asia, and cause an earthquake somewhere in Brazil. So when you look at the risks that are incurred around the world, we need to understand how that risk impacts me. The fact that you are here and something's happening in Brazil to say, well, they're too far away from me, I don't need to worry about. It's not true. We need to ask ourselves, how does that impact me? Am I going to end up with immigrants on the shore? Or am I going to end up spending more money if I want to do business with that country? Or less? In this case, it's an opportunity for me. What is the implication? It doesn't mean it's good. It doesn't mean it's bad. It means we need to analyze it. All right? Now, this is a concern that impacts us all. Frontier, emerging, and advanced. If you look at the level of debt, and I already adjusted here for PPP, purchase parity power. We never had so much debt, especially for advanced economies in the world. And I'm looking at G7 only. And of course, this is a 2010. If you were, which was the most accurate data I could master to put together. If you were to look today, I would guess it's somewhere, world, okay? It's somewhere around here, 125% of GDP. We know Japan is almost 230% of its GDP in debt. Global, world annual GDP. United States is close to 80, 90. If it gets about 125, it gets to 130, it's kind of a Greece situation. For United States, this is a big thing, right? So, is it going to continue to go up? Is it going to plateau? You ask me, again, it's me, don't bet on me, all right? If you ask me, yes, it will continue to go up because there's no other way. I mean, that's actually in England, this institution that's awarding the prize, the first economy is anybody that can come up with a solution to that. There's no other way. So for now, they just sprint and kicking the can forward. We need to worry about that because eventually it could be another 3 months, 5 months, could be another 5, 10 years that ECB and the Feds in the US can continue to print. But at some point, it will collapse because the world, investors, community, start doubting that economy and they start taking money away. For the United States, again, 65% of Wall Street is foreign money. So the US needs to maintain that credibility because if they don't, you take your money out from Wall Street. Can you imagine 60% out of Wall Street? I mean, in 2007, that's what happened, and it got to only 40%. So,
excuse me.
Yes.
Do we know what is the source of the 65% of flows in Wall Street? Do they come from China, from Europe, from?
Mostly from sovereign wealth. So a lot from Saudi Arabia, a lot from China, a lot from the Middle East, because of the relationships we have there. Some of them is conditional, others are unconditional, and also because when you look around the world, I say United States is the one with a white T-shirt that's less dirty. All right, okay. Right now, it's a safer bet to put in there. Yeah, that's true. Less volatility, but it has less volatility. Again, that's why I say, stats is good. Statistics is good because I always tell you what's going on, but it does not tell you why. So that's why I tend to favor qualitative research, as I paid an act to do. But because when you did, what happens? For the first time in history, 3 years ago, the United States government is starting to directly trade on Wall Street. That never happened before. So if Wall Street goes, if the Dow goes down to 15,000 points, oh no, that's not good for us. Those guys are going to start looking at it. Well, they pump it back. But if you're from here, looking at that data, oh, I want to put my money there. Look at that, 17,000 points. But when you dig, there has never been so much poverty in the U.S. as there is today. If you look prior to the meltdown in 2007, where the Dow was at 14,000, the level of poverty was like 7 million people. So right now we're 16, 17, depending on the week. It's 9.5 million. Income inequality in the U.S. is growing so fast that if it doesn't change course, by 2020 will be larger than Mexico in 2000. But we don't see that. Fox News and all the news channels don't show that. We have a responsibility. I tell my students, I'll be retired by then, somewhere else, but we have the responsibility to look at this, engage this, talk about this, confront this. Because to be apathic about it and just go about our ways and buy iPhones and iPads will not cut. So now, I'm not being doom and gloom, okay? Well, it's going to change the tone soon. All right? But we need to look at that. As you may have seen, this is my last doom and gloom picture for you. But we talked about all this debt, and I said, the ECB has a much bigger situation in its hand. I'm just going to show you the short one here about the US, and then you can extrapolate to Europe. This is what a debt in the US is. $100 bill. They have 10,000 there. $1 million. $2 billion. Truckload of that, right? $1 trillion. That's Boeing 747. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Now, I already have goosebumps here, and I show this video all the time. That's $1 trillion. That's 16 trillion. And change. I won't have the time